in 2 days, and our task is to prepare for it. I think a good half of you could take it right now and do great on it. So I don't want to force a bunch of review on you, so it's going to be a little different. This chapter, I'm going to uncover so they can hear me. So there is a review of all the tests, but I don't know that everybody needs to review all the tests. So that is in a review video, and it was technically just for distance learners. I was going to go through it with you guys, but I think I want you to just pick what you need out of it. I want you to fast forward me if you're like, yeah. Oh, yes. Like, it's 17 minutes long. Some of you need to watch all sorry, popcorn stuck in my teeth. Some of you need to watch all 17 minutes. Most of you just need to pick at it. Some of you might just kind of gloss through it. I don't really care. But it's an in-depth, it's just for your mind that where they were mixed structure of it, or more like that and you converge it for things and positive kind of thing. Then there's alternating series for it. What else want to go? Highlights are dark. Still see highlighter, but I would definitely for your test actually hash to a task, pick through video, see by this more like here's a material maybe through the I do number 7. I'm not gonna I have the Dave Stewart book, but these and I took it a copy usually at and you run. So that's go and just danger with people who then prepare for there, but I would definitely think is to do expenses on it. First page you see normally on this, but I feel really good about the series this year, and I hope it doesn't bite me in the butt with bad tests, that I'm going to give you some autonomy in what you study. But I want you to look through this. It looks like this page. All right. Normally I spend another day. We do these in class, and then the homework is the U of M assignment. I'm just not doing that today. I think you've had enough series to master them. But I want you to look at A through P and write what test you would use. And then start if you would know exactly what you need to explain for that test, but I'm not going to have you write them all out. So those of you distance learners at home, I do the same thing. We're just going to take 10 minutes to peruse this page and decide if we're 100% sure what test we would use. And then we'll talk about them. So I'm going to pause this video while you guys are doing it. There is one that should for sure stump you, but it's above and beyond. All right? I'm sorry I didn't number your pages. So you're going to go through until you find a page that says the parting C. It's got Moses. It's an acronym for memorizing what the tests actually are. P stands for P series, A, alternating, R, ratio, root, all that good stuff. All right, so I'm going to pause this. Just totally quiet. Just go. And those of you doing this at home, I am going to go through them. I'm just giving them 10 minutes-ish to kind of decide if these were the ones on their test, would they know what test to run. I hear you guys from out there when I record. So the first one, nth term test for divergence, no doubt. Make sure you know the specifics. Letter B, geometric series, no doubt. Converges, or root test, but root test is kind of a wimp. So geometric, okay? The next one, it already is a convergent P series. All right, know how to state Y and everything. It's a multiple of it, or you could do some sort of a direct comparison. You could get it under 1 over n squared if you want. I don't know, but it is itself convergent. D is our new one. It's pretty high-powered functions battling each other, ratio. All right, know the specifics. That's up to you guys. I just don't want a bunch of busy work. Letter E, I would do the LCT. Did we write that for that one? And I would compare it to the third word of n to the 5th. Limit comparison. Letter F, not quite sure. Diverges with the 1 over n, but I've got natural log down there pulling on it, so is that enough to make it converge? But it's not set up for any test that rings a bell, and what did I tell you yesterday? It probably is then. Integral. Yeah, that would be an integral test. And what is the derivative of ln x? 1 over x. Yeah. So that's u to the -4th du when you pass it off to. How many of you got that one? The integral test is big. You don't use it unless you have to, but do you think I made sure you have to at least once on your test? I did. I made sure that it really couldn't be done any other way. Correctly, like you could guess. All right, letter G, I've got to look at it. I would do limit comparison to 1 over n. I haven't looked at these since last year, so it's making me think through them. Letter H, sneaky alternator, alternating series. Okay. Letter I would do direct comparison to the geometric 3/2 to the nth. That's going to be over it because it has a heavier numerator. It could probably be done with ratio test too. Did anyone write ratio test? I think that would work for that one. So, letter J, that's a nth term test for divergence. I'm always running that one in my head first. Over here, definitely an LCT. Be careful when we're trapped under the root. You're actually not comparing it to 1 over n to the 4th. What do you think you'll compare it to? 1 over n squared, the square root of 1 over n to the 4th. Yeah, so that one's a little trickier. L is a dead ringer setup for which test? Ratio, exactly, good. Okay, my gut feels good. M is a dead ringer for the root. That can't be done geometric. So do you see the difference between B, which is geometric, and I lost the letter, M, which almost looks like it is, but that subtraction in the numerator is messing that up. So that's root test. N is root test. It's 1 over ln n to the nth. Letter O, you might have, how many of you wrote root? It's inconclusive though. That's the tricky one. Why is it inconclusive? What's the limit? 1. Yeah, which makes it inconclusive. This actually is tricky. It's an old thing from our chapter 2. The limit as x goes to infinity of 1 plus 1 over x to the x was something in chapter 2. It's actually e. I wouldn't do that to you, but I thought it was fun that the U of M did. This is actually divergent by the nth term test for divergence because this limit is actually e. We proved it 7 months ago. Or not that long ago. In October. Most people do forget it. This next one, alternating series. So you should have had all but maybe 2, one of being letter O. But O is above and beyond what I get. Did most of you pick the correct? Some of them could be done other ways though too. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is what I want you doing next. So I gave you guys kind of just like a summary of all the tests. Make sure you know their details. If it were me, what I would do the rest of the hour, I'm going to give you the gift